Shout out to the mighty Who Dat Nation. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I rock with Sports Coma, Big Unit guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. Shout out to the Who Dat Nation. Y'all hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and by all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. Much love. This one here is a report about our former quarterback, Mr. Derek Carr. There's two articles I want to cover in this episode of the Coma. So y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe and share button, as well as the notification bell for more content. Shout out to FanDuel, the official sponsor of the Sports Coma, man. Y'all get y'all bets in. NBA, MLB, MMA, it doesn't matter. Feel free to get your bets in on FanDuel. It's always a season. Anyway, let's get into this one, man. Dolphins linked to trade for Saints QB to replace Tua Tagovailoa. And we have two articles. This is the first of two that talks about that Carr is, and this has been rumored and hit upon through different rumors and discussions on the street. We knew that ultimately he did not want to play for the New Orleans Saints, and a lot of the Who Dat Nation did not want him to play for the team. So he did a really positive thing to the Who Dat Nation. He backed out of it, allowed us to move forward with the QB competition. Now, as you can see, we've got that solved. And with that out of the way, he wants to resubmerge, or rather unsubmerge, and look for a position back in the NFL. Dolphins are linked to a trade, according to this report. So, Carr to a sudden retirement last offseason as a result turned to Spencer Rattler, eventually Tyler Shuck to lead the team. Rattler struggles. Shuck led the team multiple big wins down the stretch, looks to be the team's franchise guy going forward. And a shocking turn of events, Carr's reportedly now mulling over a potential return to the NFL now that he's healthy again, but he seemingly only returned if the fit was perfect. So Joe Rivera of USA Today recently suggested that the Dolphins could be a landing spot if he's serious about coming out of retirement. The Dolphins could target Carr if he's willing to come out of retirement. Could Derek Carr take his talents to South Beach? There's looming questions of Tua, his contract, and how he'll fit with the new coach Jeff Haley's vision for the Dolphins, according to what Rivera wrote. Now, Miami would have to find a way to move on from Tua, something he would welcome, or maybe he would welcome, or reassign his role on the team, something he might not sit well with, the veteran passer. The Dolphins have endured a few seasons of organizational strife at that position. As mentioned, he would give a floor of competent quarterback play. Is the situation right? In a loaded AFC East that features the AFC champion Patriots and the perennial contender Buffalo Bills, maybe not. But the options across the league are fleeting, and Carr might not have many of those if he's serious about the NFL comeback. There aren't going to be a perfect fit for him, as most teams that need a quarterback are disasters. The Dolphins, being a warm weather state, might have enough pull to land him in. Now, the Dolphins need to find a replacement for Tua, who's been not so good in his own right. So bringing a Carr to Miami to replace the Alabama product would make the Dolphins a better team, according to this writer, and will likely make their support base very happy. I don't know. He didn't look good down here in Clint Kubiak's system. He just didn't look good in the system. It was a disaster for the Who Dat Nation and a disaster for him. So, I don't know. That's up to be said. But listen, y'all come and get him. You can come and get him, give us some picks for him. This will be a fantastic thing, to be honest with you, because the Saints still control his contract. We still possess that if you want to get him. And this is a QB situation that's going on currently right now that is not very good, to be quite honest with you. What's going on right now is not very good in the system, either one of these guys. So the bottom line is they'll have to come and give us a pick or something to come and remove this guy. Carr rumors increasing frequency. This is another article from Sports Illustrated. Shout out to Kyle Mosley. The Saints could very well have one of the most interesting trade candidates in the NFL. This is another one. So Ian Rappaport, Tom Pelissero, and Mike Ruffalo all reported that Carr at least has a shot at coming out of retiring and playing again. So those are three of the most polished insiders and respected insiders in today's game all reporting the same thing. So he's just this they're just putting this out there because it's a horrible QB free agency period, and he could make sense somewhere. A few months ago, we'd asked about coming out of retirement. Carr said he would never say never because I learned that when I say never, it usually happens. It just might happen. Ian Rappaport, Garofalo, and Pelissero wrote, at quarterback's injuries mounted this season into the playoffs, teams conducted due diligence on Carr, trying to gather information as to whether the former Saints franchise passer will consider coming out of retirement. Sources tell the insiders the Bengals, for instance, contacted Carr after Joe Burrow went down with his turf toe injury. The Saints should hope Derek Carr unretires. Why? That work continues, and off-season quarterback uncertainty with limited options in free agency and trade and the draft makes Carr a possible solution in the right direction, or situation, rather. It is important to note that Carr hasn't come out of retirement just yet, but this is a potential step in the right direction. If so, then he immediately becomes an obvious trade candidate, and what should help the Saints is the fact that it's a week off season for a quarterback perspective. The 2026 NFL League Draft has one high-end option in Mendoza. The top option in free agency, Daniel Jones, with a significant drop-off after him in the trade market. Both Kyler Murray and Tua are imperfect options. Carr isn't expensive and should be in high demand if he plays. One intriguing option, shout out to Ross, said floating was the Minnesota Vikings option. The Vikings has come up with an increasingly frequency as of late when it comes to the Carr conversation. With uncertainty around the investment in a young passer, J.J. McCarthy, the Vikings have been often connected with the veteran quarterback trade market since the 2025 season came to an end. Carr would offer an affordable option with starting experience that could either start week one or serve as a backup behind McCarthy, so the Vikings have a viable escape route. The Vikings rolled with J.J. McCarthy in 2025 after winning 14 games with Sam Darnold in 24. The Vikings let Darnold walk. He won a Super Bowl with Seattle. And in comparison, the Vikings won 9 games and were were all sorts of a mess. Now, if the Vikings want a veteran answer, they won't be many better than Carr if he decides to play, right? Now, that's the part. If you're looking for him because perhaps this guy wants to come out and he wants to be a starter in the game, right? So Tua, Miami is an interesting option for him to go there. I don't know what Jeff Hadley's offense will look like, to be honest with you, if it'll be a wide open attack similar to what McDaniels had, or if it'll be, a run-based attack. I have no idea as of yet on that. But there's Minnesota. He could serve as a veteran behind him. But according to inside baseball, is saying that he wants to go somewhere where he'll have an opportunity to start. This is what he's talking about doing. So we'll see how this stuff plays. We don't know exactly how it's going to go with Carr, but what the positive is about it is that Derek Carr does provide, if he does decide to come out of retirement and make a run back into the NFL, the Saints control his draft rights, and he should very well provide some draft compensation for the New Orleans Saints. This could definitely help us, and I don't know what a pick will look like for him. Maybe you give up a 3rd or a 4th round pick, maybe 2 picks to acquire his rights, and move him on up out of here. So it's all positive here in the city of New Orleans as we continue to build, man, and get rid of some of the old players for benefits so we can move forward and make some positive steps going forward. So what do you guys think? It's time for y'all to chime in the chat. What do you guys think about Carr coming back out of retirement to be in the NFL? What do you think about that? I think it's terrific. I think Derek Carr needs to come out of retirement and be traded to the Dolphins, maybe to the Vikings for trade capital. What do you guys think that trade capital should be? Should it be a 3rd round pick? Should it be a 4? I don't think nobody's going to give up a 2nd round pick, maybe a 3rd or 4th round pick, maybe 2 picks, maybe 2 4s, or maybe a 3 and a 4, maybe a 4th round pick. What would your compensation look like for Derek Carr if he comes out of retirement? Y'all put that in the comment section below. So with that being said, that's all I got for y'all. Please feel free to hit upon the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show on social media feed. Big ups to the fam, man. Derek Carr, man. used to be a Saints quarterback, wasn't very popping when he was a starting quarterback, but we got one now. He could be a help in getting the quarterback we got now, more help in terms of draft compensation and the likes. So with that being said, I'm out. Much love. Peace. And who that?
Hey, New Orleans! Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with thehootetdaily.com. Your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit thehootetdaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation.
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below or in the chat.